If there was a fighting game character that no matter what game you bought, you had to pick that one character. So no matter if you plugged in Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Soul Calibur, Skullgirl, Street Fighter, Tekken, MK, no matter what game you played, that one character would transfer from every game, and you could only play that one character. So when you go into character select, your opponent could have like 20 options in the game, and you only got that one selection that you're forced to do for the rest of your life because you're cursed for some reason. So who would that one character be if you could choose them? Starting with you, Mr. Gaming.
Spider-Man. Peter Parker himself. If I it don't matter what fighting game, if I got Spider-Man, I'm good. I know he's really only been in like Marvel games, but hey, if I can get Spider-Man and Guilty Gear,
It
Spider-Man
counts.
Tekken, I'm down for it. He's always been a fun character, highly mobile, as I mentioned earlier, highly mobile, cool combos. And it's Spider-Man. Why would you not want to play Spider-Man? He's like the best Marvel hero there is. So, he got a lot of different types of suits. So I mean, you could have a lot of DLC for a lot of extra costumes. He already got that in the bag, even different types. Well, I guess you could do it like different types. I don't know, maybe different, like one for Peter Parker and one for Miles. But yeah, Spider-Man 100%. I mean, web throw, web swing, ultimate spider. Like, come on, man. Why would you not want to play Spider-Man? If anybody's answer is anything other than Spider-Man, I mean, I'm not sure what to say. But hey, look, that's you. That's not me. So, yeah, Spider-Man. If I don't care if it's Tekken, it could be SNK or KOF. It could be, I don't know, them fighting herd Spider-Man. I would want Spider-Man. Skullgirl Spider-Man. Dead or Alive Spider-Man. Soul Calibur Spider-Man, which you can actually make Spider-Man a Soul Calibur. Yeah, Spider-Man. That's my answer. Final answer. Spider-Man.
Yeah, definitely not Spider-Man.
Come on, man.
The character that I would choose if I had a character like that, if I could only choose that character in every game, would be Ryuji Yamazaki from King of Fighters. First off, like I said, Rule of Cool. He's one of the cool, in my opinion, the coolest character in the King of Fighters franchise. In addition to that, he's just in my opinion, like he's just a good character all around. He has some really good overhead moves. He's got some he carries a knife all the time. He's got some good throws. He's got a counter. He's got a projectile. He's got a move. If I remember, like the double return. I think that's what it's called. Where if you fire a projectile at him, he like scoops it up and throws it back at you. He's got the anti-airs. He's got the high mid low. So he's got the what's called the snake stance, where he hits you low, or he can hit you hit the mid with the long range, or then he can has the anti-air version. Just in general, he's a pretty good character. Um, and his supers are pretty awesome. Yeah, man, I would say Ryuji Yamazaki. Pretty much for those reasons. Like, I've always been a fan of Ryuji Yamazaki. I think the first King of Fighters game I played was King of Fighters 2002, I think, and he was in that game with Billy Kane and Blue Mary, which is actually a pretty good team. But then the team they had a comp after that was the Outlaw team, which is Ryuji, Billy, and Gato, which was sick, which was a really sick combination actually. But yeah, he was always my favorite character. He was just like this wild and crazy character that he has his hand in his pocket the whole time, and you're kind of like, well, why has he got his hand in his pocket? It's because he's holding on to his knife, man, and he's ready to stab somebody. He's not afraid to use it, which was actually really cool. He's not afraid to like stomp you out or bite you or like just throw you around a bit. I mean, he's just if you've ever looked at the profiles for the characters for King of Fighters 2003, or if you looked at it, I remember reading it when I was going to buy the game, and I was there like people's fighting styles like Muay Thai, boxing, and stuff. His fighting style is classified as violence. It's just violence. His fighting style is violence, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Like, it's like, no, man, I don't box. I'm just a violent dude who does violent things to win the fight. Like, kind of like Spec from Grappler Baki, So yeah, like final answer, that would be like the character that I would play if I could only play one character in every game would be Ryuji Yamazaki. I think he would do pretty good in games like Tekken, actually. Especially when you got people like Yoshimitsu who get to use swords and stuff.